You ever meet someone who leaves Richmond and 6 months later they're like, yeah, I kind of miss it? Happens every time. You can't shake the city. Barbecue smoke drifts through Scott's Addition before you even spot the brewery signs. Downtown hums like a bass line, then boom, you're standing in the James, skyline glowing, river roaring loud enough to drown out your thoughts. That's Richmond on a Tuesday. One morning, it's biscuits at Early Bird. By sunset, you're stretched out on a Belle Isle rock, watching kayaks cut through gold water. Richmond doesn't just bring the heat, it flexes with it. It's not trying to be perfect. It's that friend who rolls up in boots and a hoodie and still steals the room. Grits and glow all in one. People move here saying, we'll give it a year. Then it's 3 years later. They've got their favorite coffee, a James River sticker on their bumper, and a neighborhood they'll defend like family. That's Richmond. Bold, real, and impossible to quit. And honestly, that's why living in Richmond isn't just good, it's unbeatable. You clicked because you saw the title promising 30 reasons why Richmond stands out, and this is exactly where that promise starts delivering. Richmond earns every bit of that claim. So yeah, 30 reasons the city isn't just good, it's flat out unbeatable. Every time I talk about Richmond, I think about one morning on the Teapot Bridge. It was stupid early, sky still blue, city half asleep, and there were runners, bikers, and somebody fishing like rent was due at sunrise. The air had that quiet hum you only hear when you slow down long enough to notice it. I leaned on the railing, watched the river slide past Belle Isle, one of the city's not so hidden gems, and thought, yeah, this city moves at its own rhythm. Zoom out for a second, past the bridge, past the river, past the skyline, and Richmond starts to look like a topographic map of moments. High points of energy, deep valleys of calm, all layered until the pattern finally makes sense. Zoom back in and you're right there again. Smelling Blanchard's coffee drifting out of a fan district window, hearing skateboard wheels rattling under the bridge by Brown's Island, watching the skyline flare gold when the sun hits the water. Richmond doesn't try to impress you, it dares you not to fall in love with it. That's when it hit me. This isn't just a place to live, it's a way of living. Energy and ease all tangled together. So let's start right there, between calm and chaos, because once you see how Richmond turns everyday moments into something you actually feel, you'll understand why people don't just move here, they stay. I always tell people Richmond doesn't just have parks, it lives like one. You can be downtown sipping coffee, blink once and suddenly you're standing knee deep in the James River with skyline reflections bouncing off real white water. 600 acres of connected trails and hidden gem islands wrap straight through the city, the James River Park System. It's the only urban stretch in the U.S. where you can run legit Class 3 and 4 rapids right through downtown. And that's not marketing. That's just Tuesday in RVA. The river isn't just pretty, it's productive. The Wilder School found that every dollar spent on the park system sparks around 60 in visitor spending. A whole lot of Blanchard's coffee, paddleboard rentals, and Millie's brunches flowing right back into the city. Zoom out 50 years, the James River was basically off limits. Zoom in today, it's an ecological comeback story scoring a solid B on the James River Association's report. Sturgeon returning, egrets drifting overhead, locals stretched out on sun-warmed rocks. Richmond turned a polluted liability into its most beloved, best-kept secret. And that creative current, it runs everywhere. You hear Broad Street traffic mixing with buskers' guitars under the flood wall. You smell roasted peanuts drifting from a flying squirrel's gate. You see murals exploding across old tobacco warehouses. Brick bones transformed into stories, healing, and color. Half the cafes double as art galleries because no one here picks one lane. Richmond's art scene doesn't whisper, it demands attention. I had a client from DC move to Forest Hill temporarily, waiting on her real job to take her back north. 2 months later, she's hitting the underrated Reedy Creek Put-In, shopping the south of the James Market, and turning her sunroom into a pottery studio. She said, I used to live for weekends. Now every day feels like Saturday. People come for affordability, They stay for the lifestyle. They fall in love with the rhythm, adventure, authenticity. A little weird, it works. And if you're thinking, could I actually live like that? Yeah, you could. I'm your Richmond relocation expert. I help people trade traffic for trails, cubicles for coffee walks, and overpriced rent for homes that finally fit their life. Call, text, or email me. All my information's below. No bots, just real Richmond people. If Richmond had a soundtrack, it would be the sizzle of a cast iron pan at Mama J's, the Friday patio hum at the Vale, someone laughing too loud over tacos at Soul Taco, one of the city's most underrated flavor bombs. Richmond doesn't chase trends. It cooks from its roots. African, Southern, Appalachian, immigrant traditions blending into something unmistakably RVA. And here's the part people don't expect. Richmond's food scene is packed with hidden gems. Cobra Burger, Soul and Vinegar, secret brunch nooks in Church Hill, off-menu magic in Carytown, the kind of spots you only find because someone local says, okay, don't tell everybody, but festivals, they're cultural recharges. The Folk Festival feels like the whole world plugged into the James. The Watermelon Festival pulses with legacy and juicy sweetness of summer, an underrated anchor of the city. If you're bored here, you're not actually here. You're scrolling instead of living. So here's a fun challenge. You get one perfect night in Richmond. No work, no kids, no obligations. Where are you going first? Drop it in the comments. I read them all, and I'll tell you which one's the real local move. RVA doesn't just feed you food, it feeds you connections. There's a saying here that nobody really moves to Richmond. You just visit long enough to realize you're home. It sneaks up on you. One week, you're checking Zillow just to see what houses cost. And the next thing you know, your favorite barista knows your coffee order. Your neighbor drops off tomatoes from their garden, and you're arguing over which side of the river is better, like you've lived here forever. Here's the thing. This city rewires people. Richmond has a pace that hits a sweet spot between ambition and ease. You still feel momentum, like things are happening here, but you're not getting swallowed by it. There's room to breathe, to build something that actually matters, and to know the people you're building it with. People who move here from bigger cities always say the same thing. I thought I'd miss the energy, but this is what I was chasing. Because here you don't have to choose between hustle and happiness. You can build your career, run your small business, or chase your art and still make it to your kid's soccer game or happy hour by the river. That balance is rare, and once people feel it, they don't want to let it go. I see it happen all the time. Someone moves here thinking it's just a pit stop, maybe for a job or to save a little cash, and then the city starts working on them. They start going to a trivia night just to meet people. Then they're helping out at a cleanup on the James. And next thing you know, they're buying porch plants and talking about our neighborhood. Richmond doesn't recruit people, it converts them. What's funny is how quickly newcomers become locals. Someone moves here thinking it's temporary, maybe for a job transfer, or suddenly they're hosting cookouts, volunteering at festivals, and talking about our city like they were born here. You stop trying to fit in because the city meets you halfway. There's also a real sense of ownership here. People care, whether it's neighbors cleaning up trails, artists painting over boarded windows, or entrepreneurs turning forgotten buildings into breweries and bakeries. Richmond is full of people who do it. It's a city built by hands-on energy, by people who believe in making something out of what's already here. You can't fake that, and you can't find it everywhere. Richmond gets under your skin in the best way possible, like that song you can't stop humming, or the view that always looks new no matter how many times you see it. Richmond doesn't unfold in a straight line. It hits you in bursts. Every few blocks, the rhythm shifts. Coffee clatter, church bells, bass from a rooftop bar. Everything is connected, but every corner insists on being its own story, its own little universe. The fan wears history like a tattoo. Rows of old bricks wink in the sun, trees arch over the streets that seem to gossip about the past. Porch swings creak, somebody's playlist leaks out a cracked window. The air smells like espresso and rain. You grab pasta at Joe's Inn, linger too long at lamplighters, and suddenly you've talked to 3 strangers without even trying. That's the fan, unfiltered community dressed in vintage brick. A living, breathing, walkable hidden gem that never hides for long. Shift a few blocks and the temperature changes. Scott's Addition hums like a generator. Concrete, neon, and hops in the air. The warehouses didn't die, they pivoted. Breweries, roasters, film studios, climbing gyms, startups. It's Richmond in work boots and headphones, old bones making new noise. This neighborhood is no longer underrated, but it's still full of best-kept secrets locals pretend outsiders don't know about. Churchill slows the pulse. Cobblestones roll under your feet, the skyline glows like it's posing for postcards, and the scent of sourdough from Sub Rosa's floats through the breeze. This is the city's conscious, history preserved but never frozen, a neighborhood that holds space for reflection and reinvention at the same time. Across the river, Forest Hill trades volumes for vibe. Pines replace rooftops. Bikes flash past on Riverside Drive. The south of the James Market hums with small talk and bluegrass. The calm feels earned, not sleepy. People here don't rush, they actually arrive. It's one of Richmond's most underrated lifestyle pockets, a true hidden gem for anyone looking to breathe. And then Manchester, Richmond staring at its reflection. From the Teapot Bridge, the skyline looks close enough to touch. Light spilling across the water like a promise. Brick lofts, tucked away galleries, murals blooming between old factory walls. The energy feels half finished in the best way, like the paint still wet on something great. Finally, down by the river, Jackson Ward and Shaco carry the bass line. Jackson Ward's rhythm beats with art, entrepreneurship, and legacy. Shaco adds the gravity, full of history, memory, resilience, turning hard truths into open space and reflection. Together, they're Richmond's roots and heartbeat, the part of the song that keeps time while everything else evolves. That's the city in miniature. No 2 neighborhoods chasing the same spotlight, just trading verses in the same track. Grit beside grace. Past beside progress. The kind of balance that keeps Richmond interesting long after you unpack your boxes. And just to be clear, every neighborhood offers something different depending on the lifestyle you're looking for. There's no best area. My role is simply to help you explore which amenities and features fit you, never to guide you toward or away from any community. Here's something most people don't realize until they've been here a while. Richmond runs on quiet efficiency. It's that rare sweet spot where your day actually works, not the chaos caffeine combo most cities serve you, but something gentler. The kind of daily rhythm where your errands, your commute, and your sanity finally line up. You can cross the whole city in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Trying to do that in DC or Atlanta without losing your religion? Parking? Still possible. And here's the twist. Since 2020, Richmond's population has grown faster than any time in its history. Remote pros and college grads realizing they can keep their big city jobs while living somewhere their day actually breathes. The whole place was built with human scale in mind. The Pulse bus line, bike-friendly corridors, walkable pockets, they're not trendy add-ons. They're a blueprint for living light. Carytown's vintage shops, VCU's humming campus, Shaco's riverfront, all connected. You can live car light if you want, and that's rare anywhere, let alone in the South. Richmond has also become a magnet for smart talent. Over 30,000 degree-holding adults moved here in 1 year. That's not random. That's people solving the equation. Big life, reasonable cost, real breathing room. If your commute, your coffee, and your kayaking spot all sit within 10-minute orbit, you've cracked the code. But it's more than layout, it's mindset. You feel it at Ironclad Coffee downtown, where half the tables double as workstations, and strangers swap startup ideas between sips. You see it on the Teapot Bridge, where someone closes their laptop, walks across the James, and calls it their mental commute. Richmond has figured out how to blend work and life without burning out either one. Even the homes reflect this ethos. Historic bungalows with actual storage, modern builds that don't look cloned from a developer's Pinterest board, functional beauty without the need for validation. Richmond doesn't shout how smart it is. It just is. Like the friend who always knows the shortcut, the best lunch spot, the fastest way to reset your mood, and never brags about it. Real talk, what's the one thing that keeps your daily routine sane? The shortcut, the coffee spot, the life hack that saves your morning? Richmond folks swear by the pulse, Belle Isle walks, and ironclad caffeine therapy. Drop yours in the comments. I'm stealing the good ones. That's the balance that hook people. Not hype, not hustle, harmony. You start to see that Richmond doesn't just make life easier, it makes life yours. You can't talk about Richmond without talking about its soul. This city doesn't just have history, it wrestles with it, redefines it, and rebuilds from it every single day. It's one of the few places where the past and present don't compete. They collaborate. Take Jackson Ward. It's more than brick row houses and murals. This is where Black entrepreneurship took root before dreaming that big was even remotely safe. Maggie Walker started a bank here. The neighborhood pulsed with music, business, pride. You still feel that energy on 2nd Street during the festival. Drums bouncing off brick, joy buzzing through the crowd, and you realize this isn't nostalgia, it's legacy. Alive, loud, still leading. Then there's Shockoe Bottom, where Richmond faces its hardest truth. The city's role in the slave trade and chooses to do something powerful with it. The upcoming Shockoe Institute is being built on sacred ground, turning history into learning, reflection, and community. Not to erase what happened, to teach it, honor it, make sure the future looks different because we remember. Just a few miles away, the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts keeps expanding, still free to all, pulling in people from every walk of life. Culture here isn't gated behind ticket prices or velvet ropes. It's a gift, a gathering space, a reminder that art belongs to everyone. And the ICA at VCU? That's Richmond's creative frontier, bold, experimental, unapologetic. A place that says, we know where we came from. Now watch where we go next. Then there's the Richmond Folk Festival. Hundreds of thousands of people, music from everywhere, strangers dancing like they've known each other forever. For a few days, the entire riverfront hums like a heartbeat. That's Richmond, reverent but alive, complex but joyful, a city that lets you feel part of something bigger, even if you arrived yesterday. This is the Richmond that refuses to be defined by a single story. It honors the hard parts, celebrates the art, and somehow keeps making room for what's next. Richmond doesn't need perfect. It runs on real, and that's exactly what makes it unforgettable. This city wears its story out in the open. You see it in the murals splashed across old brick, in the farmers markets where everyone seems to know everyone, in the people who build something meaningful because they love this place too much to play it safe. Everything we've talked about, the neighborhoods, the food, the rhythm, the river, the history, stacks up into something bigger than any single moment. Richmond just works because Richmond has heart. I just helped a couple trade a 1-bedroom walk-up in Brooklyn for a porch in Ginter Park. Same jobs, same laptops, completely different life. And the first morning they sent a picture of their coffee mugs sitting on that porch, sunlight in the trees, quiet in the streets, and they said, we can finally hear ourselves think. That's not just a move, that's a mindset shift. And that's what Richmond gives you. Space, breath, a new rhythm to live by. And if you're ready to find your own version of that moment, your own porch, your own morning, your own, oh wow, this is what life can feel like, call me, text me, or send me an email. I'm a relocation specialist and a native Richmonder, and I help people just like you figure out where they belong here every single day. You'll talk to me, not a bot, and I'm always happy to answer your questions and walk you through the neighborhoods, the buying process, and the lifestyle that fit your goals. And if you're still exploring, take your time and check out my Living in Richmond, Virginia playlist. It's loaded with neighborhood deep dives, lifestyle stories, and hidden gems that make this city feel like home long before you unpack a single box. Thanks for spending part of your day with me.